I am going to be drilling Smeagol, also known as Gollums. While I am doing the drilling, I will ask you the Gollum's riddles. Can you answer them without doing the gurglings? If you can, leave the answers in the comments. Now, what has roots that nobody sees is taller than trees. Up and up it goes, and yet never grows. Dirty white horses on the red heel. First they jump, then they stamp, then they stand still. Voiceless, it cries, wingless, flutters, toothless bites, mouthless, mutters. An eye in the blue faces saw an eye in a green face. That eye is like to this eye, said the first eye, but in low place, not in high place, no. It cannot be seen, cannot be felt, cannot be heard, cannot be smelt. It lies behind the saws, under heels, and in empty holes it feels. It comes first and follows after, ends life, kills laughter. Alive without breath, as cold as death, ever thirsty, never drinking, clad in mail, never clinking. This thing all devours birds, beasts, trees, flowers, gnaws iron, bites steel, grinds hard stones into meal, slays kings, ruins town, and beats high mountains down. Well, do you know the answers? Can you tell me the answers to the riddles? Can you? And I mean it, no googling the answers. You must know this from your own knowledge. After your answers, you can do the googling. But tell me your initial answers from your minds. It seems as I still have the lots of the dead space to fill with my Gollum's voice. What should I say? My precious, nasty little hobbits. Give me back the rings. Give me back the rings. The precious. Gives it back. The Gollum's voices. It's actually not that hard to do this. You just kinda have to clench the backs of your mouths and just start the little lispy mercies. You know, the sisters at the end of some of the words. A little bit of the nasaliness. And there you go. The Gollum voices. And then if you want to do some fanciness, you just slap a reverb and an echoes on it. Like I am doing in the editings. I still have 4 minutes of dead spaces of the air where I have to do the filtings. If you haven't noticed this yet, I'm not basing this Gollum drilling on the movies, but the old cartoon versions. The cartoon version was still the movies, but you know what I mean, it wasn't the live actions. So, you know, the old cartoon Gollums in the movie where Smaug had like these whisker mustaches. Honestly, I like that version of Smaug's better. He looked good with the hairs. Instead of just the regular dragons, made them stand out. Yes. Kind of had this almost like a cat's look to him. Yes, I like that version better, if I'm being honest. The live actions were kind of boring, but the animated version from way back when, it was really good. I had watched it on the old VHSs back when I was young, because my aunts and grandparents had it stored. They did. It was very good. It was a unique style of the animations and arts. You should probably Google it if you haven't ever seen it. I really like that versions of the movies. I recommend this. You watch it. It was very good. The version of Gollum is in the movies I'm talking about had a very frail and almost frog-like looks to him. And it was very much more of a character than the live-action Gollums is. I know the live-action Gollums is more like on the Lord of the Rings Gollums is, but I really do prefer the animated Gollums is. It looks so much better than just the skinny naked dudes is. At least that is my opinions. Well, I mean, live-action Gollums wasn't really naked. He had loincloths. But a loincloth is not the same as being really covered. It's basically underwears. If you think about it. But it is what it is, I suppose. We're almost to the ends of the drawings. It is almost done, just a minute longer. This was very fun to do. I don't know, is there another characters you would like me to do the drawings of? Slightly longer forms like this. Especially ones I could try and do the voices of. I can't do every voices out there, but there are some voices that I can do this. Let me know what you think in the comments as well as, answering the riddles. All I really have left on the drawings is to do the lights and shadows. A little bit more refinements on them. Do the light highlights on his hands. Make it shine things from the rings. The precious. I must refine the colors on the eyes a little bit. Make it a little more greens. Greener than greens. Yes. I was going to do this a little more highlights on the side of his faces, but then I would realize that doesn't looks good, so I scraps it. I tries to fix it by making a different colors, but it still doesn't look right, so yeah, I end up scrapping this bit. I feel like I didn't quite get this one right, but I wasn't actually working on the references this time. This is just from memories from a long time ago. Regardless, here it is. It may not be quite righteous, but I think it looks pretty good regardless. If you did like this, please hit likes and subscribe for the ongoing madnesses.